Today, my pals Brock Yates and Steve Evans are going to be at the Monster Mile at Dover Downs in Dover, Delaware. They'll bring you the fast, exciting racing action from the Big Rig 200. You know, when these guys put the hammer down on these big babies, they fly around that track. And I'll be stationed here at a favorite truckers hangout, the Union 76 truck stop in Ontario, California. We'll be talking to some of the drivers and find out what life is like on the road for some of the modern-day truckers. But right now, let's go to the Monster Mile and Brock and Steve.
Thanks, Ed Bruce, and welcome back to Dover Downs in Dover, Delaware, where the last time the American Sports Cavalcade was this far east. We brought you 500 rousing miles of Grand National stock car racing. But today, well, maybe a little special magic. Special magic in the form of the big rigs, the kind of big rigs that have fascinated kids like us for all of our lives. And today we're going to see them run 200 miles at over 100 miles an hour on this bank speedway. The Big Rig 200, a very special event for some very special drivers and some very special rigs. And for more on the trucks and on the men who drive them, let's go to Steve Evans.
Brock, in 4 short years, big rig truck driving on the oval tracks of the nation has really grown in popularity. And it's no wonder, because the truckers really enjoy it. There's no double nickel speed limit out here and no smokies to get in their hair. 14,000 pounds of iron and steel thundering around the Monster Mile at well over 100 miles an hour. Forget this, a $60,000 purse. The last time you and I were here in Dover was for that NASCAR race, and if you remember, the Richard Pettys and the Dale Earnhardts and the boys really didn't care for this track all that much, said it was awful tough to drive. They call it the Monster Mile. The truckers here seem to have a different reaction.
Well, it's my kind of track. I like a high bank track, and this is the first time I've ever been on it, and what little I've been on it, I think I'm going to enjoy it.
I like the track. A lot of people call it the Monster Mile, and I've heard it called the Tri-Oval, and to me it does seem a little like a Tri-Oval, but it's an awful healthy bank, and it has a tendency to want to make you run low, but I think if you stay up there, you'll work out all right at the end of the day.
Well, I really like it. I hadn't never been here before. I had never seen it till Friday, and I really like it. I hope we get to come back again, because I believe it's going to be one of my favorites.
But Brock, this man, E.J. Utley, Orlando, Florida, may have some mixed emotions about this racetrack as he idles up towards his position in the front row. Yesterday in practice, E.J. had his hands full here at Dover.
That was 7 tons of Mack truck that just bounced off the inside wall as E.J. Utley came off turn 4 behind a couple of other trucks, had to spike the brakes, and here's what happened. Can you imagine, out of control at 100 miles an hour and enough bulk to make up maybe 3 Buicks, Steve?
Well, E.J. Utley here, Brock, showing a little dirt track experience. He's just right now kind of waiting for that truck to do something he recognizes so he can use the throttle and get himself out of trouble. Right now, just broad sliding down the racetrack, scrubbing off all the speed he can, gets very close to the outside wall, and as the truck comes completely around, you watch those rear driving wheels. Right now, E.J.'s starting to eat. This morning trying to get it finished.
I'm with E.J. Utley, who a lot of people yesterday afternoon after that practice crash said he'd probably be loaded up and on his way home by now. But E.J., it looks like you got the rig almost back together. Are you facing any other problems?
Well, we've got all the major parts back together other than the most vital, the steering gear. We worked late last night. We had enough spare parts to put the front axle and springs and shock absorbers and all back on it, and wheels that were bent and so on, and busted hub and bearings and so on. But after we got it all on, we discovered that the steering gear was busted inside, and it's a rather unique steering gear, and we checked with everybody else. Nobody had one, and we hunted all night, and we found a busload of race fans out in the parking lot that have got a bus that's got one similar, and they were gracious enough to let us try it, and the pit crew's over there now taking it off, and hopefully we can adapt it to the truck and maybe get in the race.
But the school bus story was just too good to be true. It would not fit the Mack truck of E.J. Utley. So again, the crew started scratching their heads trying to come up with some sort of a solution. Later on, I stopped by again in their pits, and lo and behold, not only a steering gear, but a brand new one already bolted up and ready to go to work. I asked E.J., where did it come from?
Fortunately, we got a hold of some people here in town by the name of Schwartz, C.F. Schwartz Motor Company. And one of the people that was at the racetrack, we went down and took one off a new truck they had sitting in their front yard, and they were very gracious and very cooperative.
So a battered yellow truck sits here in the front row with a tired driver and equally tired crew, but they are ready to race for some big money here in the Big Rig 200. 28 trucks and all lined up, Rock Yates on the pit row, and it looks like we are going to have the pace lap.
Right, Steve, that's official. There's the chief starter switching the caution lights around the racetrack from red to yellow. That means the racetrack is open for the pace lap, and here come the big rigs out of the pit area here at Dover to get underway and get set up for 200 hard miles of racing.
And you can see on pit road there are still a few puddles from some earlier showers.
This is it, the biggest, fastest, toughest truck race in the country. It's the Pocono Big Rig 500. There are 30 giant 14,000-pound 10-wheelers jockeying for position and big prize money at speeds of up to 140 miles an hour. These 30 huge rigs, powered by up to 1,000 horsepower engines, are driven by 29 big, tough, very competitive men and one young, heroic girl. Robinson drove her first bobtail rig at the age of 17. The next season had her first career victory, and this year's in third place. What she lacks in driver songs, she more than makes up for in determination and grit.
The male ego of the macho truck driver and all this. When I came in as 19 and went to my first super speedway race, which was Atlanta, that was when I came to race against the professionals. They thought I had no business being out there, and that's where I really had to prove respect of a driver. And then I was out there to drive and to be a race driver, not because I'm a girl and not because I want the cameras and all this. I just want to race.
Dave Slaybaugh is the no-nonsense crew chief and owner of Shauna's 85 GMC, powered by a 975D truck.
First off, I was very skeptical. And not because she was a woman, but just because of lack of experience and her ability. And they asked me to give her a shot. And the first thing I noticed was her desire. And then the second thing I noticed was her ability. She's got tremendous ability. And I built this truck for her from scratch last year, every piece new, and I would not have done it if I didn't think that when I pull in here, she has the potential to win.
These big rig trucks are built on an angle to handle their great weight on the curves, and that pressure can be tough on tires. Unhappy with the vibration on her new tires, Shauna decided to come back into the pit. At the 12th lap, Shauna was holding firm on her 4th position. Then down the straightaway, the engine blew up on Bob Bolus's 77 GMC. And he tried desperately and unsuccessfully to get out of the smoking cab before it hit the wall.
So there's always danger in the speed that you're going, the weight of the truck. It's a little top heavy. If you're spinning sideways and then go to straighten it out, if you don't do it the smoothest possibly way you can roll it over in an instant. So there's always danger, but that goes along with the excitement, and that's the best thing about it. With the car, you're so close to the ground, and you are going a little faster, so it just depends on how you hit. These things can be picked.